See how this does it. All right, that should be good.
Second, man. All right, good morning. Welcome. Bromar Gym, downtown Leesburg. Okay, I'm my friend Will.
Yes, sir.
All right, tell us about your business. He is, right now, he's going to share all the supplements that he supplies here at the gym. And he's done this on request. He's tailored these supplements for me because what do you do as your
I'm a holistic practitioner, herbalist, nutritionist. I do a lot of stuff. But basically here for the gym, just do the herbs. I just supply you with the herbs and just to let you guys know that he also understands the nutrition point of things and herbs and things of that nature. So he probably would be messing with me. Yeah.
So what I found in the future, like back in the past, is that a lot of people love supplements, and I really appreciate supplements, but I find it there's a lot of broad supplements, meaning you buy at Costco and then you're just putting stuff in your body. And what I wanted to do is I was looking around for different systems, so I went to different companies and I was piecing together a whole bunch of things. But what I was really looking for really is something tailored, right? So I wanted something more holistic that would be comparable with your body chemistry and everything else. And I found just like the universe just put me together. So we have a whole line of goodies here that we use. And then how do you approach your system on your end? So for me, you're kind of making it general. And we also talked about like frequency, meaning like how intrusive it is. And we're going to talk about that in my experience with other supplements. So how do you approach like your testing and all these other things that you normally do if you're going to do something? Hey, I need something tailored.
Okay, so if you need something tailored for you, first of all, we sit down and we have like a discussion. Because sometimes what you feel you need tailored for you and directly for you, I need to know what you're dealing with. I need to know everything. And, some people kind of don't like to share a lot of information. Because sometimes, I want to go into an emotional level. Because sometimes you may not need herbs. It may just you may just need a release.
Yeah, so let's say, for example, like I get this a lot. So one of the things is when we talk about, like kind of being healthy, we talk about stress, right? So you're right there that you really just talked about like, hey, you don't need supplements, you don't need herbs, you need to just like figure out your mind, right?
Yes.
Because everybody's medicating their mental emotion. So
Yes.
like let's take that example. Like, what would you recommend? Like, yeah, I'm constantly stressed, like my job, but I can't get away, I can't quit. So it's not gonna happen.
Right. So then we would go through, okay, we need to pinpoint where it is now. Okay, we know it's your job. We know it's not the whole thing. Maybe it's a person or something, or maybe it's something that you do.
Yeah.
So then we kind of got to zone in and see exactly what it is, and we need to find the trigger points.
Got it. And that could encompass like diet, lifestyle, the way I approach my mindset. Correct.
So diet has a whole lot to do with your attitude.
Because this is my brain, but guess what?
Exactly.
Brain here too, right?
Right. Exactly. So diet, people think diet doesn't have anything to do with the way that their emotions operate, and it does. The study was actually done in a prison with diet, and they removed it all offline. But
Really?
there was a study done in a prison where they fed all the inmates a vegan diet for a whole year.
I've actually looked into that.
You saw it, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So, and they saw that the crime rate within the prison decreased over 80% while the prisoners were on the vegan diet.
And why is that?
It was because that they weren't ingesting the emotions of the animal. So when you cook meat, like you get it, you cook it, you kill the bacteria. This is why we cook it because the enzyme. Maybe
Bacteria.
So we basically cook it because we don't want to get sick from the meat. Right?
Of course.
But you can't cook out the emotions. So when an animal gets killed, if it's not killed instantaneously, it's going through a bleed out process, all the fear, all the adrenaline, and it's all stored in the tissue.
Gotcha. So let's throw this out there. So we're not a vegan place or anything like that. If you look at historically, most people ate very little amounts of meat. They usually hunted. They killed it fresh and either ate it raw, tartare, or they cooked it lightly, or they cooked it all the way, depending on the culture. So this is not really like veganism is a political movement. We are doing whole food plant-based in Chinese medicines and other historical medicines. They usually advocate having kosher that means it's prepared in a certain way. So for example, you talk about if you're going to eat meat, the quality needs to be better because of the bacteria. So just to throw this out there, like if you take chicken and you boil it and then you put it in bleach and then you test it out to see if it has any feces in it, the likelihood of it actually having feces in it is still very high. We're talking about 10%. And now you just did a whole bunch of stuff to technically make that meat, as clean as possible. The hormones, as you talk about, like a lot of people don't understand. It's like when you eat any kind of ground up meat or beef or anything of that nature, all those chemicals release and they stay in the flesh. That's why if anybody knows about hunting and they deal with game or anything of that nature, you want to clean, dispatch. And the reason why is because then you actually don't taint the meat. So if you talk to a hunter, they're like, oh, that's roadkill. You don't want to eat that, or maybe eat around it.
Exactly.
But at a butcher will actually tell you the same thing. But then when you go to a slaughterhouse, because these are the realities of the industry, these cows go through some horrific things. So, you got to really find out where you're getting your stuff. And the emotional part is tremendously. We're getting all those hormones at the end of the day.
Yeah. So you get the hormones that are injected, and then you get the emotion that the animal goes through before it expires.
And this is more on an energetic level. So in a lot of Chinese medicines or holistic medicine, we talk about energetics. A lot of people don't want to believe these things like, oh, like what I eat doesn't make me feel a certain way. It doesn't really work that way. You are a walking temple, and that temple has a kind of like chemistry. So you're going to respond initially with that chemistry. But when we do these holistic, kits like we have here, this is why there's tailoring and then there's broad, right? So when you're tailoring it to me, you go through like the questionnaire or something like that nature. Do you do any muscle tension work?
I do. I do muscle tension work.
You explain that to us? That's very kind of.
So basically, muscle tension will have you lay flat on your back. I'll get your arm, and I'll tell you to raise it up.
Yep.
And so basically, what I'm dealing with is your subconscious. This is what I'm doing.
Is the intelligence of the body.
Exactly. So your subconscious can't lie.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Anytime you tell a lie, it's weak for 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Like I've seen that in the
right? Your body gets weak for 3 seconds. So I don't even talk to you. I have you raise your arm up off the bed, and I have just two fingers, baby strength.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, don't allow me to push down, resist, but resist baby strength, right? Because I'm using baby strength.
Yep.
And so I go through and I start getting my energy into your organ, moving it.
Yep.
When I move your organ, if your arm goes down, that organ is weak.
Gotcha.
You need to work on that organ.
Uh-huh.
And then I keep going, go to the heart, go to the thymus gland, go to the pituitary, liver, all of it.
Now, when you do all this, do you also put like any supplements in their hands or anything like that? I've been through that.
So I can do that. You can do that with allergies. You can put them in your hand, and
So I've done that. That's where they put it in your hand and they do the weakness of the muscle. It's the funny part. So I've had the whole list done. Like, hey, this is what you got in your body, and then they go through the list. Like you have Candida, this and the other, right? And then I went and took one of those tests where you actually send it to a lab. It's pretty accurate. I was actually surprised how much accuracy you've had. So I find it to be a really interesting thing on how really good, especially if the person's really good and they've been doing it for you, how that muscle testing was super accurate.
Yes, very accurate. So I do muscle testing, and then I do iridology.
What is that?
Where we look into the eye. And so basically, you can tell everything in your whole entire body looking into the eyes.
Really?
So I do iridology, I do scleral reading. I do 5 to 6 different readings on it, right? Scleral reading is when you look at the white part of the eyes.
Yeah.
The veins, with the way the veins go, and the blood vessels and all of that tells me everything that's wrong. Then I do facial reading, which is I look at your face and I see what you got going on. I do a tongue reading, I do a teeth reading.
Really?
And then I do a pulse pressure reading.
It's gonna sound crazy. That's what we used to do to horses. So when someone
Really?
looks at the age that's what a doctor sometimes, like old school doctor, will look at the horse. And I've seen people do the same method back and forth with regular tools and also through the physical look as well.
So basically, I do all of those, and so I see what comes up the most.
I see.
And whatever comes up the most, okay, we need to work on this here.
I see.
This is what we need to work on. So just just a FYI, if it's both the liver and the kidneys, they need to be worked on separate.
Gotcha.
You work on the liver and the kidneys at the same time, no,
No good. Okay.
no good.
So I was taught the opposite. I actually like to do it separate because of my experience, but I was taught you do them at the same time.
You do them at the same time, you're gonna overload both of them.
Gotcha. And
Because
that's
they're
much
both,
what you're
they're
saying.
the clean,
I see what you're saying. Okay.
right? The liver is a cleaner, and then the kidney is another cleaner. So if you're cleaning out both of the cleaners, there's nothing to clean.
I gotcha.
You see, so you
Yeah.
want to clean one cleaner so the other cleaner can help that cleaner clean. Once that cleaner is clean, you clean out the other cleaner so the other cleaner can help the other cleaner clean.
Got it.
Clean both cleaners, nothing's getting.
Nothing's getting clean. Yeah, got it. So that's very interesting how that works. Yeah, so here what I do, usually people train, and then the last thing we have to, I like to do it first, but it scares people. So we usually just talk about a healthy eating plan. And healthy eating plans are not fad plans. It's not like low carb carnivore. It's not a vegan diet or anything of that nature. It's mostly a whole foods diet, with, no trash in it. So that's like, too much salt, too much sugar, too much oil, too many fats pretty much, or too much protein. So that's how I deal with it. And then I see, usually in the Western culture, I see a big amount of, not differences compared to other cultures, but it's like you always have the liver issue because we eat too much protein. You also too much fat, and then there's usually some kind of overgrowth in the stomach because mostly people are doing either they're fasting too much, they don't know how to get out of the fast, or they're destroying their immunity by just all these pesticides one, but we're talking about like all pharmaceuticals, like the antibiotics. And the other one is like, I'm just going to do carnivore and then just eat a whole bunch of meat all the time with the grease and everything else like that. So it wrecks those two. What do you find on your end that you see on the basis that you're like, okay, I know what that is right away?
Candida, I know that.
Candida is a big one. Yeah.
I know that it's right away. A heart condition. So basically, for me, I don't diagnose you. I don't tell you, hey, you got the diagnosis for me is literally irrelevant.
I got you.
Right? All I need to know is, okay, it's here.
Is your liver overworked? That's all you need to know.
All I need to know, okay, it's here. A doctor literally, so.
You do blood tests and then okay, cool, these are the conditions. But if your liver's overworked, usually what does that mean? What are the conditions that you get?
Liver overworked, I mean, you're going to get painful.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be fatigued. You're going to be, it's not going to be, it's going to be hard for you to hydrate, hard for you to eat certain foods.
So we already know something's wrong, right? So that you don't really need to know that, you have diabetes or these other things that technically have a liver issue. They can get their blood work and then you can be like, okay, man, I'm already doing it because I'm already trying to make the liver cleaner.
So basically, if someone comes up to me, right, and right here, just give me, right here under
The black.
not the black, the bag.
Oh, I see.
Right, there's a bag.
Yes.
If this person is developing these, I already look at your life. Okay, your liver needs to be clean.
I see.
Because your face shows your liver here, right? Cheeks to the lungs.
And that's like almost like reflexology type of
Exactly.
work.
Exactly.
And and we do have reflexologies on the hands, feet, and it's also the face
Yes.
and the ears, I think, right?
The ears too. Yep. So all over your body, literally, is maps.
Mhm.
Your arms have maps. You got a picture in there.
Yeah.
Your feet.
I do.
Your feet has a map. There's maps like literally all over. You can read it. Everything is a map of your body.
Yeah.
Literally.
Interesting. And that's it. So to make a point here, like my experience, but I've read a lot on Chinese medicine, and people have had their feet done, like their foot reflexology, and then all of a sudden, like their bowels move, and things like that, and then you're like, oh, 5-10 minutes, and they're working on feet, and then the whole body starts like flush. So there's something to it. These are alternative things. It's not always cutting something or taking pharmaceuticals or something of that nature. You can do a lot with very little, actually, at the end of the day. But of course, we know how that works. You're not making money off of that at the end of the day, so that's why the medical industry doesn't like it too much.
Right. And to point out something to the viewers here, no doctor in the world can diagnose.
Yeah.
The scientist diagnose. So the doctor does a test, the scientist makes, and based upon that test, the doctor tells you what you have. So the doctor has no idea
Yeah, he has.
what's going on.
Yeah, he has an educated conclusion on what
Right.
could be
So
happening
he does,
based
the
on.
doctor doesn't say it's me, like, oh, you got something going on here, okay, and then question, well, okay, you're leading him or her to, you know, what it might, okay, we're gonna do this step, we're gonna do a whole array of tests to figure out what's going on.
Are you starting to see more doctors do more holistic work in the long run?
No.
No, not at all.
Not.
No, they're more pharmaceutical
They're more
and
pharmaceutical.
more like surgery.
Yeah, it's interesting because the doctors that I work with, he's my client.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, and then I know from on my end, for my research, most doctors don't even take. They take like the chemistry of food and how people ingest food, but they don't really understand how food affects the body. So and to throw this out there, there's a lot of plant-based doctors who are legitimate, doctors who deal with diabetes and like Garth Davis. There's also internists like Dr. McDougall. These are some big names out there if you want to research them. And they've been around for a long time, and they have some observational science. But a lot of the stuff that they gathered actually before the '60s, people still did holistic work. So when you look at the stuff that they talk about, they're like, okay, cool, you got acne. Let's just, even if you're a vegan or not a vegan, take the oil out of your diet, and you'll get the acne off your face. You'll technically totally clean it up, And then, mind you, everybody's different. That's another reason why you tailor supplements to a specific person, versus me going out to the Costco and just getting multivitamins or something like that.
Right. And multivitamin, again, this hard rock vitamin thing.
Yeah.
Your body's gonna have a whole lot breaking that down. So, in medical school, I had the privilege to see a colon biopsy, not a biopsy, a autopsy
Oh,
on a colon.
Oh, I see.
When they cut this person's colon in, all there was vitamins,
That's all.
whole vitamins. So the vitamins,
So they didn't break down.
exactly, they don't break down. So sometimes the microbiome
It's not
is
hard.
not correct. It's not going to break down the vitamin is just going to pass on through. You're not going to really get anything. I mean, you can get some because the vitamin, if it goes into any liquid, is going to start to release. But you're not going to get all of it, and it's just going to sit there.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I've heard some things get stuck in there too, but I guess it really depends on how the person can digest and break these things down.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the line of supplements that we have here, just because he's more versed than I am. And then, so one thing is what everybody is always going to, where's the protein here? We're always going to talk about the protein first, because that's what everybody loves and everybody's really interested in that. This is my take on protein. So if you are a meat eater, right, and you are just ingesting a lot of meat all the time, that protein is too rich for a lot to consume. So I like plant-based protein. So if you are eating a lot of meat, you should at least add more fruits and vegetables, and then you should also have, instead of whey, you should get an alternative protein. And as you can see, this is very small. And why is it small? Please don't.
It's small because it's real protein. So if you have a real source of protein, you don't need the big scoop.
Yeah.
If you have a real source, you don't need a massive steak.
Gotcha.
I mean, so
So the reality is I can absorb this better and faster than like other things. Because and a lot of people will say it's inferior. It's not inferior. That's just like a word that people use to kind of down these ideas. But what it is that this is easy to absorb in your body. That's what I have found.
it's easy to absorb. Yeah. So basically, let's just protein.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, my take on protein is that protein is literally a myth.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Protein is a straight myth. You can't get any protein from eating meat. You do get now, a lot of people who are building muscle, that you do get the whole array of the amino acid profile that builds protein. Now, a lot of abundance of it and a whole lot of iron.
Yeah.
Which is the two things that you need to build the muscle.
After you break it down. Yeah.
Exactly. So basically, you do get a lot of that. The other problem is that you get too much protein that is already shrunk.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that the amino acid profile has already been put together and the protein has been assimilated.
I got you.
So what your body now has to do is go through, de-assimilate that protein and re-assimilate it so it digest it because your body is designed to create. So you're putting this protein in your body that's already created. Your body has to destroy it
Gotcha.
and recreate it.
That destroying process, what does it do to my body?
You're going to go to sleep. You're going to get very tired, very fatigued. A lot of cells are going to be destroyed, and new cells are going to be.
Is it very hard on my body, like my liver,
Yeah,
my stomach, and things
Yes.
like that? Okay.
Yes, you can drink as much water as you want. By the way, water. If it doesn't have the proper nutrients inside of the water, it's not hydrated.
So how do you use, now let's explain what do we have here. So we have hemp, peas, we have, I mean, sure what that's one, it's called, what's that?
Moringa,
Moringa, spirulina,
Chevelle,
Chevelle, don't know that one. The banana and strawberry are for the flavor. Correct. And and you pick that for a reason, you just like the flavors.
I mean, it's more of a common. That's the only reason I picked it.
Oh, yeah, because people like that.
Banana straw.
Gotcha. So the hemp is actually pretty good. It's pretty good digestive protein.
So I'm gonna tell you that hemp in the plant kingdom is the highest form of protein. You can't get anymore.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's wild. And what other benefits does it have?
Hemp.
Yeah.
I mean, it has everything. I mean, you can make milk. It has not only proteins, it has a full amino acid profile.
Really? So it has more, it literally just helping in general. And then peas are very popular. I've seen that for a lot of protein. So what's the other?
I mean, peas. I just threw it in there for this one. The new batch won't have peas.
Oh, okay, so you're gonna pick that one. What are you gonna
But
put?
well, I'm not replacing.
Oh, okay, you're just gonna use something else.
Yeah.
Spirulina, that's been a very popular thing. Even like the doctor, everybody, I see this guy all over the internet now. I think he's gone. He's passed away. Dr. Sabi, he talked about spirulina. He was talking about spirulina. Or now sea moss too, right? Sea moss, it doesn't have any protein. Yeah, no, it doesn't. But spirulina is a big one. Isn't that remove toxins out?
Yes, strip metals, all that stuff. But
So-
it does have
It does have protein. So you're technically, that's great actually. So you're ingesting protein and then you're also cleaning the body out.
Exactly.
Gotcha. How about these other herbs that we have here, like this?
Moringa.
Moringa, what is that?
Moringa is the same thing as spirulina, but it's more potent.
And so this protein is really going to help me with energy.
Yes, it's going to give you.
Okay, so that is, and then, so it's also easily absorbed.
It's easy to absorb. So basically, whey protein doesn't exist. It's something that someone created in the lab.
Correct.
So you have no idea.
I actually know how they created it. So to be fair, this is how they created whey. But Blair created he had a factory, and in that factory they used to take the excess whey off the top, and then they would technically, they wanted to do something about it. They choose to throw it out, and then they dried it up. It was disgusting. Okay, and so in the old days, myself and then guys who were like in their 60s and their 70s, they would tell you that protein in the back in the day tasted like straight, you know what, poo, and it was gross. Later on in my era, like in the 90s, it was all like sugar and covered with sugar, and then they mixed it with also milk and things like that, and it was to bulk up. And let's just say it wasn't the best thing ever. No one really got any good results from it. No one got lean meat. The bodybuilders would sell it because the reality is it made money for them, and that's what it did. But this is a waste product, and so you're taking a waste product and you're using it as a health product, and that's from different sources. I was curious, and that's what I got it from.
So now we put together what he just said. It's a waste product. So now what has to happen? Your cleaner, the first cleaner, which is the liver, is going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
Because now this is the waste that liver has to clean.
And this is why anybody who knew anything or came out, either like because bodybuilders do use supplements, and their supplements are mostly steroids. Not all, but some of them are. The reality with them is they will tell you straight, look, if you want to build, you need to eat real food. Real food, hey, eat a real steak. This is an interesting thing too now is if you talk to anybody who's in that industry, a lot of these guys that retired, they went over to eating more plant-based. So they still eat meats, fish, things like that, but they just don't eat it at the quantity that they used to, and they're doing more plant foods because of the fact of the absorption. How do you mix your protein up? What do you suggest how to do this?
How to mix it?
Yeah, how to mix it up for yourself. Like how do you do it?
So basically, these are secrets. Only herbalists know this, how to mix herbs and ratio herbs. So I'll give this to you.
Yeah.
And it's not a secret stuff. To mix the herbs, you want all the herbs to have the same weight.
Okay.
All right. So it's not about It's not about quantity.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna take a tablespoon of this one, a tablespoon of this one, that's not how you mix it.
Uh-huh.
You mix it by weight,
Really? Okay.
because each herb has a different weight from the different weight classes.
Oh, I see.
What we're doing is we're combining weight classes.
Gotcha.
So if I buy some moringa and spirulina and I put them here, you know, I have a pound here and a pound here, and then we dump them into a bowl, one of them is gonna be more than
I
the
got
other,
you. Yeah.
right? But I want both of them
You want both at the same level then,
the same weight.
the same weight. So if I'm doing like what grams, some of that around us, I want
The same weight.
Okay,
Yes.
that's new. I haven't heard of
Herbs
it.
are combined by weight, not
Gotcha.
by quantity.
And okay, that's interesting. I had no idea. And then do you suggest taking this early in the morning or after workouts or before?
I would suggest not early in the morning, you know, early in the morning, because, you know, you don't want to wake up with something that's too much.
heavy,
You
yeah.
don't want your body to be.
You like the fast too, right? Like early in the morning. Okay. We'll
So
talk about that
basically,
too as well.
You know, take it maybe right after your workout, or even in the middle of the workout might even be.
Yeah, so there's benefits in taking either if you're going to fast all day long, you can break your fast by taking one of these. You can also, I would also suggest too, like you can take it after or during your workout, depending on what you're trying to do. You know, mind you, like if you're bulking up, the way I suggest to take this is you put it with other things. So, you know, it'd be like peanut butter. I would suggest oats because they're easy. You know, I think for some people they're easy to digest. You can't digest that. Almond milk, I've seen people do it with that. You know, you make a fruit smoothie. Boom, that's for a great, you know, bulking 1-2 as well. Just to add. If you're doing more plant-based foods, you know, this will supplement if you're like running out of food, right? If you're doing more meat and centric food, I suggest having something like this and still keep eating real food.
It's great for fasting too.
Yeah,
Also because meal replacement.
Yeah, so this will be a
Your
good one
fast.
too. And this will do it too as well. And so you're there, I think what you're saying is when you fast, you can stay in ketosis by breaking your fast and then making sure that you don't overeat and you technically contain the calories in a certain method. That's what I do with the Prolong. So the Prolong does the same thing. It's a mimic fast.
Right.
Any other things you want to talk about on the protein side?
Protein side,
I think we covered all the basics.
I think we covered.
Yeah, so we're gonna put it off to the side. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about energy, right? So we have, oh, that's right. So let's talk about enzymes. That'll be better. Because we're getting into the eating gut part. Yeah, exactly. So again, these enzymes, tell me about them.
So the enzymes, it increases the enzymes in the body. So if you have low enzymes, which actually I had a client just contact me that has an issue with enzyme building, and the issue that they have is inherited. Just to let you know who you are, there is no disease that can be inherited. You can't. The only thing that is inherited is the deficiency.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's another caveat. I'm gonna put that in there. Like we all are kind of like the same. So it's like a lot of the stuff that people inherit. Guess what? They're westernized. You know, they're technically man-made by our culture. So people here in the United States and mostly the Western, you know, powers, a lot of them have the same issues. But if you go to other countries where they don't have rich food and we don't have abundance of this food, they don't have these problems. They don't have like diabetes. Just to throw that out there. Why? Because there's certain things that they don't have to deal with. It's like, well, it's my genes. Same thing with people like they say, well, I'm fat because it's my genes. And it's like it doesn't really work that way. You're obese because you're eating a certain way and your body's acting a certain way because it's saying, hey, we got to do something about this.
Right.
So I agree with you on that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so also the enzymes that helps you to increase the enzymes in your gut.
Mhm.
So
And what breaks down my enzymes? Like what causes it? Why do I need to have something to rebuild this?
so what causes that in your gut
Yeah.
is literally alkalinity.
Oh, really? Okay. So that again, if I don't eat enough variety in fruits and plants and things like that, no alkalinity.
So basically, we have to have a balance, right? So there's this big thing. Well, there was this big thing with Dr. Singh. We talk about alkaline and acid.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to be alkaline.
There's a lot of doctors that talk about that.
Yes, you want to be alkaline.
Even when I was a kid.
The problem is that your whole gut
Mhm.
cannot be alkaline.
Okay, I got
Because if your stomach becomes alkaline,
Yeah.
you can eat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're
So
right.
when people have candida, they drink apple cider vinegar for day all and feel so good, right? Apple cider vinegar, what's that? Complete acid.
And then, so how does this help with candida as well?
It will.
Okay, it will boil it. And also, how about regular food? Like, what food should I take? I have a book that I kind of prescribes certain things, but what do you prescribe
Food
someone?
to increase the enzyme.
So, yeah, and also to make the candida technically just go away, or at least like, because you can't really make it go away, right? You can technically level it out.
You can decline it.
Yeah.
So basically, that's a difficult one.
Because you have to see what the person's doing.
Yeah, because foods that people think are acidic are not. So
Uh,
basically, if you were to take a lemon
yes.
and eat it, drink the lemon juice, and you think that it's gonna,
Yeah, it's not gonna do it.
it's not gonna do it because your body is gonna alkalize.
Yeah. So one of the general things that I've read in Chinese medicine is they actually do a lot with mostly these with a wheat in specific. It's a wild wheat, and you can technically help your candida go away if you use that. And they add some other whole foods too. And then there's like grape seeds, I think, if I remember correctly. But at the end, at the beginning there, they always talk about like, well, you have to kind of like prescribe this. It's not like, hey, just eat a whole bunch of these kind of whole
You're
foods.
taking like ratios.
Yeah. So and then that's what they were talking in there too. But this enzyme this will actually technically grow the enzymes.
Yes.
And then what time should I take this, or when should I take this?
You should tell you, I mean, take it in the morning, that it doesn't matter. And
Just
so
like
everything, I think everything, any supplement that you get, you should take it before you go to sleep.
Oh, really? Okay. Why is that?
Because when you go to sleep, your conscious mind leaves you.
I see.
So once your conscious mind leaves you,
You're
your
told.
cells, right?
Yeah.
Your cells don't have anything to do. Now the conscious mind is gone and it's not telling the cells or feeding them all this imagery and all this information. Now the subconscious mind is in control.
Really?
And now you heal. So the subconscious mind doesn't turn off. I had a debate with a guy the other day, and I was trying to explain to him that he is not his conscious mind, he's his subconscious mind. That's his higher self.
Right.
And he said, no, I'm my conscious mind because my conscious mind understands that I'm alive. And so I had to tell him, I said, hey, listen, if you put some binaural beats meditation,
Yeah, you'll go deep in trance.
if you go put that in and you fall asleep, right? So consciously, you are unaware that that's happening, but your subconscious is still taking that in. So the subconscious never goes to sleep.
Gotcha.
So when you take anything before you go to sleep,
Yeah.
now it's like a higher level of your self-healing now.
And this is why I should eat late at night.
You should not.
Okay. Gotcha.
You should not.
I'm a bad man about that. I like to eat late. But yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, you shouldn't eat. I mean, no. If you're hungry, you gotta eat.
You shouldn't overeat that late.
Right,
at night.
right.
Exactly.
If you have a steak at night, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So here, what we have here is a basil leaf, right? Parsley, sage, and thyme. So tell me about these supplements that you use. Like, why are they so beneficial to getting the enzymes?
So basically, when I put my supplements together, I put them together based on what they do. Right? I join them together. Just to let you know, you can join any herb with any herb. Any herb can be mixed with anything.
Got it.
So these 4 herbs are the ones that will boost the enzymes up. And again, simplest is best.
Simple
Your
as
body
that.
doesn't understand complexity.
I got you.
You don't want the cells to do too much complexity because they're already doing a lot of complexity, breaking down your food and positioning the vitamins and minerals all throughout the body. Got a complex process. So in the herbs, I base them, and this can be taken for anxiety. There's herbs in there for anxiety. For instance, the bay leaves, the burn this, right? So there's a whole bunch of different.
Really? So I can burn this too?
Yes, aromatherapy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I thought I just ingest.
You can ingest it, but aromatherapy is going to hit the cells on a different level.
Gotcha. All right. So this is wow. I didn't know you can do aromatherapy on that. And
So
this is
powder, though.
yeah. This is straight. Yeah. So this is straight up powder, and this is also straight up powder.
Yeah. So if I had this one for you in cut and sifted
Yeah.
like a tea,
I got
then
you.
you would be able.
And then, now, for different conditions, would you technically change that out? We're like, hey, I want you to take it in powder because of whatever.
Yes,
Okay, so you would have that, but for the average person, the powder is perfectly fine.
average person powder is fine. Powder is the best.
Because I know it's difficult, when I ask you questions like, yeah, I want some like a line, and then you're like, well, I like to tailor things, but then you did kind of like, well, this is kind of general, right? So that's the one thing that, that you talked about. So that's really cool that you got it in a nice good ratio in that manner. All right, so we're going to move on that one. You got anything to add on this?
No,
I'm actually going to leave it here because these enzymes go with these other two supplements. So I tried this gut detox, right? So right now I'm on another brand, I wanted to see it. I wanted to have an idea. I also kind of wanted to kind of spy on it to kind of tell you about it, my experience with it. I'm not going to name the name just because you know how that goes, right? But they're a very popular brand in the industry, and it's tremendously organized, and they got this, it's very corporate-like, and then you go through this muscle testing thing and questionnaire, and then after you're done, pretty much you get this kit, and it was intense, man. Like the kit is intense. Like I begin on Monday and I stop like around Friday, and then like now I'm easing my way into doing a little bit more so I can stop. But I think I'm not going to continue it. I know it's working, but it's too much. I can't do it. Now, when I took this right here, right, and I've been taking these, they're great. Like, maybe like once in a while, a little discomfort, but I know it's working. But I'm not like, freaking out if something I'm going to run to the back. Yeah, exactly. So these are less intrusive. So what is your idea on that? I was experiencing with some of these cleanses and, gut rebuilders and things like that. Like, what is your idea on that? What do I should be careful with if I buy something?
You gotta be careful that, number one, a lot of the brands that are out, they're gonna definitely clean you up.
Yeah, they are.
And it just also depends on what you can handle, right?
Yeah,
but a lot of times when people go and they get like a cleanse,
Or a recovery
it's
builder.
harsh,
Yeah, it's tremendously harsh. Yeah.
right? It's harsh, and so what that does is turns people away.
Correct.
A lot of people nowadays don't got too much.
Yeah, honestly, if I wasn't experienced, I probably wouldn't be doing it over and over.
Exactly.
Because there's like most people like, oh, screw that, man. I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna do it. I can't live like
So that's exactly how I used to make my stuff.
Yeah.
I had a package, a cleanse package.
Because you want to get results, right?
Exactly. Now, like, man, we need to clean it up.
I see.
But now I'm more in there has to be a gradual approach, right? Because the body is sensitive.
Yeah.
And if you hit it too hard, it's gonna kind of shut down on.
Correct. So there's a lot of stress. I feel like there's a lot of stress on my body. Like I'm not really digging working out.
Yeah, it will build back up. And you don't want people walking around throughout the day having a bad day because they took your herb.
Well, I noticed too, like when I take your herbs, my consciousness is feeling good, and it works, and it's cleaning me out. When I take the other ones that I've used, it's like my brain here and my brain here are just not doing good. There's like a disconnect.
They're not talking to each other.
And what's happening there? What's going on?
So basically, what the other herbs you're taking are only focusing on one. It's like a one-way street. There's no two-way traffic.
Gotcha.
Right. So basically, for instance, if you want to do parasite, right?
Yeah.
You can go and you can get a parasite plant. Not a problem. But what's going to happen is that this thing is going to go in there, and that's what this does. This removes parasites.
Gut detox.
Gut detox. Right. But it not only removes the parasites, it's going to go into the other cells, and now we're going to communicate because we need holistic, right? We need the whole.
We need to figure out how your whole body works, right?
Exactly. So we need to get the whole system involved.
And then you also prescribe a certain way of eating too, as well. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. With a lot of these systems, they pretty much just let you eat, and they don't give you guidance, and they kind of do, but they don't really push it. They just
That's
don't
the
push
thing.
it.
So when they're giving you this parasite, I'm just actually talking to a guy about this yesterday. He's like, look, he's like, yeah, I went to a parasite plant. Yeah. I said, oh, okay. So you really don't need herbs for this.
Yeah, what do you prescribe it just for parasite cleanse? You already told me one time.
But you can get this.
Yeah,
for parasite cleanse, you just eat watery fruit.
Okay, and what does that entail?
Well, the water and the fruit is gonna go into the walls.
Is that like banana?
No banana.
Cantaloupe, no bananas? Okay,
Cantaloupe is watery, watermelons, cucumbers, the watery ones,
Yeah.
grapes,
gotcha.
these ones.
So how about oranges and?
Oranges,
things
yeah,
like that?
anything with high water content. You do that, you'll kill all of them.
Really, and why is that? They just don't have any food, is that what it is?
They do have food, so you gotta understand that food is both nutritious and toxic.
Yeah.
But the parasites that you're getting rid of are from the other food that you.
And it's because they're alkalining it, that's why.
Exactly, you're alkaline.
Gotcha. And so I just eat food for how many days? Just to kind of throw it out there.
It could be 10 to 14.
But at the end of the day, we're going to do a nice plug in here. So give us your website, please. Give us your website. Yeah. So if you guys want to have like a more tailored, experience, so go ahead and give us your website.
So the website is basically my herbs are sold on Etsy. So you can go on Etsy, into me, but you can contact me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Into me. So it's in.tune.me.
And we'll put the link at the bottom. All right. So this gut detox, how do you recommend me taking this?
So that you take 2 in the morning and 2 at night.
Okay, that's average. I've seen that a lot.
2 in the
As well.
morning, 2
And then how should I eat if I'm kind of generally doing it?
Now, if you're generally doing it, if you
Like, yeah, I just want to try this out with my.
it was like levels too, right?
Yeah.
You want to go 100%.
Yeah.
You're going to remove the stuff that's causing the gut to be detox.
Gotcha.
To be toxic,
Got it.
right? So if you remove these things, now you got to understand what we do. The way I do things is simple math.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to add that. We got to take something.
Okay. Gotcha. What would you take away?
So we have to have that conversation.
Okay, that's if you're doing a
So
big.
the first thing I would take away is anything. I would take away sugar.
Okay, perfect. I'm a big advocate for that.
Refined sugar. We take that.
How about sugar from fruits and stuff?
That's great sugar.
No issue, right?
We need that sugar. That's the
Gotcha.
energy that's the sugar we want.
Got it.
So
How
basically,
about I'm drinking like milk and things like that?
no cow milk, no baby calf milk, right? We're humans. We don't have the baby calf.
Gotcha.
So you can do any almond milk, coconut, right?
Gotcha.
Any milk you want to do. It's basically up to you.
Got it.
With what you do. I mean, the whole thing is
This
that
is you tailor it to them. Right? Yeah.
I tell it to them, right? If you want to detoxify the gut, you have to remove the stuff that's bringing the toxins into the gut. You have to remove it completely.
Got it.
Just-
How about if someone just says, "Hey, I'm just going to pick this up," and I was like, "What can I do really?" Like a pocket, "Hey, here's an idea." Like, what would you tell them? What would you like? What would I tell them other than like, "Hey, eat better," right?
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, drink more water.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's a big one for a lot of people. So if they're like, I don't want to take anything out of my diet, but I want to take this.
Yeah. Drink more water.
Just drink more water,
Yep.
and that'll do it.
All right,
gotcha.
now we need it to move because if you're not going to remove anything out of the diet, everything is stagnant.
Got it.
It's
So, and that's if they don't like. They kind of want to do it, but they don't because that's really what it is.
exactly.
But if I tell them, hey, I need you to eat more fruits and vegetables and whole foods, is that a good step? Is that a good
That's a
direction?
good. Yep.
And so
absolutely.
then they can still eat that and then keep their meat down low. And then how about the oils and the fats? Like, do we keep that low? Like, what do we do? What kind of fat should we have?
You can have no fats.
Okay.
But you can have any fats you want. And this is the whole like.
You mean no fats like processed fats, or you talking about fats from like regular
fats from regular food.
Gotcha.
You want fats from like avocados. You want good
whole
fats.
food fats
Good fats.
that have fibers, which is
Correct.
gotcha. But oils, I should stay away from oil, like greasy foods and things like that.
Greasy food. Yes.
Okay, so that wouldn't be good because all I'm doing is just causing me.
Right. So yeah, it's
I'm just
not
wasting my money.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty good. So we got this, and then this is a new product that I haven't tried. Well, actually, I did try it. That's what I did. I thought I did. So this one is the microbiome rebuilder. So that's the microbiome rebuilder. We got that as well. Yeah, I actually like this a lot, and I thought it was perfect. Yeah, I mean it's legit. I actually got a lot out of it, and you were like, I asked you what's in there, and you said it's just a bunch of berries. And that's interesting because I was reading my whole food manual, and they were talking about the getting rid of like candida and overgrowth and microbiome and things like that. So this microbiome rebuilder, how does that work necessarily?
So if you go and look up microbiome,
Yeah.
it tells you that it supports the skin.
Interesting.
And, it does support the skin, but it supports
Check. Keep talking.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, keep talking.
It supports much microbiome is the absorbent.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, if your microbiome is low, the absorption of nutrition from the food is low.
Oh, I
And
see.
this is the reason why we eat the food is to absorb the nutrition and the energy from it. Okay. So we build the microbiome up so that now you can actually not only absorb the food, but you can actually get it to move through you and all the waste can come out easy.
Okay,
So this is good for people with bad digestion.
I see. Got it.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between yours and the microbiome builders on the streets?
Well, mine has no chemicals.
Okay, that's a plus. That's a plus.
That's the
Yeah, because we have here, we have, what is it? Simplery, yeah, is that what it's called? I can't even say some of these. Gooseberry,
So we got licorice root, slippery up, gooseberry, lavender, check bullock, and goat.
goji, I've heard of that one.
Yes, a bullet.
Yeah, and so this in combination is your specialized version of it. And then what else would someone put in that you don't feel that you should be putting in a microbiome builder?
You mean what?
Like, so for example, like a competitor, like what do they put in there that you're like, man, you know what? I don't think you should put that.
Chemicals.
Really?
It's chemicals.
So it's just chemicals, got it.
I mean,
But there's not like the raw herb that they're putting in there. To do this specific thing.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
So that actually does happen too.
yeah,
Are
not
they
all,
putting stuff that they should be putting?
yeah, not all herbs like need to be put together. You can put any herb that you want and mix it with any other herb.
Okay.
But what you want to do is you want to see the ones that join,
Or
right? Or like even in the other supplement, the daily dose, none of those herbs join,
I see.
right? But all of those herbs bring something to the table that one of the other herbs don't.
Gotcha. And does this help also with parasites as well?
It can.
They can. Gotcha.
Because once we build up the microbiome, now what we're doing is we're building up the breakdown of the food.
Gotcha.
So you're going to have actually less parasites.
Oh, okay.
We're going to lessen the parasite.
So that already helps me getting rid of parasites.
That
Gotcha. What else helps with parasites and all this other stuff?
remove
Just remove it.
parasite removal.
Yeah, how does that work? Do you have a kit for that, or you just kind of suggest?
I don't have a kit, but it's amazing.
Oh, so for you, you could make one. Okay, gotcha.
Make.
Got it.
But
I'll bet if for a person who's like, hey, how do I remove parasites? And I don't want to devote all this time and effort. It's gonna want to do it like nice and easy with, without doing all this extra work.
just get to go eat them.
Just get the gut detail.
That's it. I mean,
And they just have to eat them.
yeah. If you really want to go and do it 100%,
You should dive in. Got it.
if you really want to do it, it's gonna be harsh.
Gotcha.
But it's some people aren't ready for harsh.
I got it.
So I keep that stuff to the side.
But they gotta be really, yeah, but this is general. This is like, hey, I'm just trying to get healthy,
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
and I do, and the person will think, I do know I have this, and my son might have that, or discomfort, and you just, hey, just take this.
So I would recommend a good detox.
Yeah.
Not a cleanse.
Gotcha, like the detox.
A good
And
detox.
So this would be it, though. Together?
Together.
Okay, together.
Yes.
And how would I take this? This would be in the morning and at night,
Yeah.
and then this one too, or different?
So that one, what I would recommend is you take it after you eat.
Okay, so the
Or in
microbiome,
between.
so the microbiome builder, you take it right after.
If you take it after you eat or in the middle of the meal.
With the enzymes would be fine? Put these together?
Oh, that would be a powerhouse.
Okay, so that's great. All right, that's good. And then we have the protein too. All right, so we covered those bases. We don't want to run out of time now. All right, so let's say I need to lean up, summer's coming. So we already talked about fasting. How do I use fasting to technically lean out? How's your process with it?
So basically I fast until height sun.
Gotcha.
So basically circadian rhythm.
Got it.
So basically I work out, do everything. So once the sun is at its peak, I'm at my peak.
Yeah.
Now I can eat my biggest meal.
So the way everybody else fasts is totally different. But we do it like 16 hours and people eat like
So you
around
do
one.
the intermittent thing.
Yeah.
Right? But you have to do it based upon nature,
Got it.
right? So you follow the sun for your fast.
Okay.
So when the sun comes up, you bring something in, right?
Uh-huh.
The light is coming in, okay, we want to bring light in now.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
you want to bring electricity, water comes in. Now we wake up the the
So
inside.
the whole body weight.
Right now, when the sun is at its peak,
Yep.
this is peak time.
Yep.
Biggest meal of the day.
Okay.
And then once the sun is coming down, this is how you gradually digress throughout your day. This is how you fast.
Good. Okay. And then that's beneficial in how many levels? Like to cut weight or
All of them.
body fat?
Cut weight, build muscle, body fat, everything.
Really?
Now you're actually in tune with nature. So if you look at
So you're
nature,
done with the ups and lows.
exactly, nothing's fat in nature.
Yes, true. Yeah.
Exactly.
Unless we get put in a captivity. It's pretty much what it is.
Exactly.
All right, gotcha. So that's your method of fasting. So how about fasting that goes on more than one day? Like, 3-day fast, a whole week fast, like what do you suggest for those? How does that
So if you're gonna go into lengthy fastings like this, bring your body into the fast.
yeah.
So, you're not gonna go from a steak and potatoes one day to not eat anything the next day. You will be sick, could even take your life if there's too many toxins.
Gotcha.
inside
And
your body.
you work with people to do these fasts?
Yes.
Yeah. So I actually looked and researched into different places that do holistic fasting. If you have a lot of complications, I suggest you get a professional like themselves. There's actually other places too that do it in a different manner. Yeah, definitely. We already put the plug in, so I think that's something. How many people have you taught how to fast for medical purposes?
I don't know.
Yeah, you haven't done that yet.
That's a lot.
You have done too many then.
I don't know.
So you got too many. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I've fasted myself, mostly conventional fasting, like you see in the health industry. And so, what are the things that I need to be careful with when we're fasting? Like if I'm doing it on my own, other than the time, things like that. Like,
So the things you need to be careful with again is going into the fast. So the most important thing about the fast is coming out.
okay, gotcha.
So
So
if you're-
going in and coming out are really
the most important of the fast. The fast is not the most important. It's how you break it, how you bring.
so I
it
have to ease myself into it.
Yes.
Gotcha, and ease myself out of it.
Yes.
And if I don't, what can happen to my microbiome? in my body?
Well, if you don't, then you're fasting for no reason. All the benefits of your fast leave.
Really? Okay. And I'm also causing stress, right?
Yes.
In my body. So it does not benefit.
No.
Do people, when they do it wrong, people blow up, and they get fatter after that?
Yes. So the problem about diet,
Yeah.
right, is you don't want to die tea anything.
I gotcha.
You don't want to die tea anything.
That's what I call it, dude. Yeah.
You want to die tea.
You don't die.
This is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You want to change the lifestyle.
Yeah. So we don't want to do something and then go back to our,
Exactly.
cotton candy diet, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If you like cookies and cakes, hey, look,
Have it once in a while.
eat your cookies and cakes.
Yeah.
Don't remove it completely.
But don't do it every day. You can't be having that.
Exactly.
So this is the thing, like, you gotta, it's not right that you're
Moderation.
exactly, you gotta have some moderation. So
Yeah.
there's an addiction. All right, so let's talk about like this energy. This is some fun stuff. I like it a lot. The way I use it is I usually just take it in the morning and it goes on for a while. It's very potent. It's technically has raw cocoa and yohimbine, and it is potent. And this is different than other yohimbine products I've taken because this lasts a long time.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, I was gonna do capsules, but we're doing like literally like micrograms here. It's pretty cool. Like the tip of the teaspoon. when we were doing like that, people were like, I can't go to sleep. And I'm like, you're taking
I told you.
so, but then capsules are too big too.
Yes.
But this this right here probably will last you like around 6 months, depending on who you are. And then do you cycle this? I cycle it. I do like 1 week on, 1 week off.
Yes.
Or
It's
when
very potent.
when we train. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't get the shakes. I'll tell you that.
Right.
The crash is not bad either. I like the crash. It's kind of like deflation.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
it's mellow, like, okay, yeah.
Other benefits that I should be aware about on this?
On that is actually
Antioxidant?
there's antioxidants, increases sexual performance.
Yeah, we know that. You'll hit by that.
Okay. Yep. Mental clarity.
Women and men, by the way.
Women and men. Yep. Mental clarity. So it's gonna bring your brain fog away. You're gonna be more clear when you do this. It lasts a long time. So do
Yeah.
not
Yeah, don't overdo it.
take it at night.
Yeah,
I don't care how much you say. You can put your finger in, lick your finger and put it in there. You won't. go to sleep.
Some people are able to sleep. I'm actually able to sleep, but then you have running dreams, like you're running all over the place. So
Yeah.
you have to be. It's a workout. It's a supplement for working out. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what you want to do it. you can, I guess it would be good to replace your coffee here and there, but you don't want to be reliant on it. And then we have the fat burn, right? I've actually had some people take this, and I've taken it myself, and they've actually gotten really good results. It's doesn't feel intrusive. That's one thing that I like about it. You know, you get like a normal heat, but it's like you don't even notice it, and then like slowly you start losing inches. And then so tell us more about this fat burn. How do you take it?
So basically what it does, you just take one pill before you go to sleep.
Yep.
And basically what it does is it increases the brown fat production inside your body. For those of you who don't know what brown fat is, it's baby fat. And so what brown fat is designed to do is kill white fat, which is the fat that you have problem losing, especially in the abdominal area. That's all white fat. So increasing the brown fat, and the reason why it's called brown fat is because it's iron rich. So taking this and my iron, which you don't have, will actually increase the brown fat.
Okay. And that's how you put that together with the iron supplement.
Yes.
Really? I might have to get that in the gym.
But we might have to capsulize it because it's disgusting.
Oh yeah.
It's like the gut detox.
Yeah, well, it's herbs. I mean, what do you expect?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to move on that one, and then here we have the daily dose that I've been using on a regular, really phenomenal. What I find about this, I was looking for a vitamin that has more minerals, so that's what I like about that. So explain to us about this vitamin mineral that's going on.
So basically, daily dose. Dr. Sebi talked about this.
It's a tea, guys. It's a tea.
Dr. Sebi talked about this all the time about the minerals, right?
Yeah.
This here has every single vitamin except for vitamin D.
Yeah, that you get from the sun, by
That
the way.
you get from the sun. And
Your hormones produce it, by the way.
indeed, and B12.
Yeah.
For all the minerals that your body is made of when you are born.
Yeah.
So we're talking about minerals that you don't, we're talking gold, right?
Yep.
These potent minerals that you really can't get anywhere.
Mhm.
Every single mineral in it, all the vitamins from A to Z is in it.
Nice, good. And then how do you suggest taking these guys?
You just drink it twice a day, anytime.
That's it. Yeah, that's what I do. I just make a tea and I just drink it straight up.
Twice, 3 times
Just
a
like
day,
that.
doesn't matter.
So now we're going to get into these, I would say these really beneficial supplements that everybody should have, right? It's called Immunity Amplifier. So tell us about the Immunity Amplifier and why did you make it?
So the immunity amplifier was initially made for COVID.
Mhm.
And anyone who had COVID, who came to me, would give me immunity amplifier and take it away in 3 days.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then why, and on your research on your end, and I've talked to people who've been doing any viral issues, they've been taking care of these viral issues with other means other than pharmaceuticals, especially if it's something unknown like how we experienced back in the past, right? So on your end, what did you find about the research that you read into on how to take care of this viral issue that people are having?
So what I discovered is that it's very intelligent and attacks the weakest part of the body,
Yeah.
which the weakest part of the body in everyone
Yeah.
is your lungs,
Yeah.
because we only get about 11% oxygen that we breathe. So it's going to attack the respiratory system.
And that's circulatory respiratory. So what I've gathered from the research I say is like if you are already a person who has something like that, or you have bad circulation, that right there, in a sense, you have a higher chance of getting affected by a virus in general, especially the one we talk about. So what holistic people were doing, and what you're in the same boat with, is that you're making sure that the body is alkaline. It's technically has the blood flow, right? And then it doesn't have mucus. And so you're strengthening the cells, which you're saying.
Correct. Directly.
Correct. Interesting. And that's just from the herbs and lifestyle. Yeah, right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then the people that you followed or even tutor you as well, what is their effectiveness with this treatment?
So the effectiveness, so I didn't even follow. So this was made from.
Go ahead. Just really quick.
So this was made from all plants.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Well,
I
it's
didn't
like,
get this.
it's like an intuitive thing is what.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, this is.
And then a lot of people have gone into that too, and they've had the same practice as
Yeah.
well. So, yeah, I think there's a consciousness out there that and we could definitely get more into that at another time, because that'll be another whole hour.
Yeah.
So how do I take this immunity amplifier?
Again, I think it's 2 times a day, 1 time a day, any time of the day.
Gotcha. And I can just take this any time of the day, and it's just another tea as well.
Yep.
That's there we go. And then of course we have also too this other viral C19 as
Yes.
well,
Yes.
and that would also technically help the body flush out
Yes.
any toxins.
So,
I use it to clean the liver out. Is that a good way of?
yep.
That's why I like when I feel like if I eat too much junk or anything of that nature, or if I'm getting sick, I'll use it, and it's very effective. You know, even when I'm in between my sickness, I just keep drinking it, and my body is technically just flushing it out really fast.
Yep, so it
Really good.
it's a heavy metal,
Flush over.
yep, flushes out heavy metals,
Yeah.
and cleans everything.
Herbs, guys, so it doesn't taste fun, but guess what? I mean, it does the job. You're not going to sit there and get sick all day long.
Because, you know, you add honey, local honey,
Yeah, local honey.
local honey.
Gotcha. All right, so we have this lung cleanse. I actually got good results. People like this one. You know,
That's potent.
yeah, and so with it, so if you mix these three together, that hits the trifecta.
That hits everything, actually.
Gotcha. And then the lung cleanse, how is this? How is this takes the mucus out? Do you like breathe it in? Do you drink it? Like how do you do it?
You drink it, it's tea.
Gotcha. Can you also do it in pill form?
We can if we got a powder. we can do
Yeah, I
it.
think I asked you about that. And then, but some people that I noticed that they're like, oh, it doesn't really work. And why would that? Why would they say that?
The reason is because, temperature causes the lungs to
Yeah.
retract, detract.
Is it also that they're not taking care of other lifestyle issues as well? You know, so if they're just doing this and they're not taking these other packages and cleaning up their diet, they're still drinking milk and things like that. Does that also mess them up?
It will mess them up, especially milk to kill the lung. But you know, anything that you take that's a cleanse, those people, I can guarantee you 100% that they're not drinking enough water.
Oh, okay, so that's really the problem.
That's really the problem.
Gotcha.
Anytime you take a cleanse or any herbs, you have to drink plenty of water, because what we're doing is we're cleaning stuff out, right?
Yeah. Perfect.
So if you're gonna clean stuff out, you need it to move out,
Gotcha.
right? And if you're not putting something in your body to move it, like a stream,
Now, it's not just regular old water. What kind of water do you suggest? Because I saw your tub that you brought in there.
yes.
Yeah. So what is
So you
it?
could do, there's 3 waters I suggest: plasma water, hydrogen water, or alkaline.
Okay, got it. And you can make that yourself, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's also stores that have that too as well. And you suggest to do that like every day or like periodically? Like how do you suggest to do that?
Drinking the water.
Drinking the water, yeah.
They-
Oh, okay, so you do it daily. So I can drink hydrogen water daily.
Yes.
And it won't mess me up. Is there a risk of me having too much alkalineness in my body?
Too much alkalinity.
Alkalinity, thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, and then how do I stop that if that's the case?
You stop. You gotta eat acid,
Okay,
or just literally stop eating.
okay.
But there is, you know, if your body is too alkalized,
Yeah.
I mean,
I've only seen that at one person before.
very rare.
It's very tremendously rare. Yeah,
It's very rare.
yeah, I've seen the latter. So, well, so we're gonna thank you very much for coming here and being my guest and sharing this. We're gonna have you on the show more because we got some really cool ideas and I got lots of other questions. I just wanted to, present the supplements that we have here at the gym. You can also hit me up if you want to train. We do 2 days a week or once. We do pretty much a 45 we compress a 45-minute workout in 50 minutes, get a half an hour. You do it here, low impact. So that's what we do on these ARX machines. And we also talk about lifestyle, and we also talk about what you should eat, and all these other areas that require you to be healthy. Now we also have a supplement line too as well. If you guys are interested, hit me up on email. You can get them here and just pick them up. Or if you want something tailored, or even get some supplements as well, this man, as we also did do your plug-in again.
It's Intune Inc. Stores on Etsy, but the website will be up shortly.
Yeah, we're going to put it on there.
It's called Intune Healing.com. You can email me at holistic health@intuitively.com, or you can contact me on Instagram or Intuit Inc.
And I'm thinking of also maybe doing like, hey, let's go through a process of you tailoring something for me, and I just go through a protocol and kind of viewing or technically filming that as like a step by step, just to see how the progression goes. So something like we could do something like that in the future. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, no question is crazy. Just go ahead and send it to us, and we'll do our best to answer as best as possible. Thanks for being our guest, and peace out. All right, take care, guys.
Have a good one. Light.